Hello everyone, this is Thor with Beer Bull Traders, and I would like to do a recap on my AMD trade for you. All done for the day and ready to enjoy this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas everybody, God bless, and I hope everyone has an amazing holiday. I want to go through my AMD trade here, and I kind of want to close out the holiday, continuing to talk about what I've been talking about really the past few days, which has been just kind of harping on the utilization of levels from the pre-market, especially in order to put your trading plan together. You're going to take your pre-market levels. Once you have those, I like to overlay those with the level 2, see where our good bids and asks are, and see if we can get something together. So we were actually talking about this in the pre-market show. So if you guys are so inclined, I would recommend subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell so you can go live. I wasn't even looking at AMD, honestly, when I first sat down, but Carlos was pointing it out and got me on board with it. And then we started talking about it in the chat room a little bit. So once I was looking at it, I went ahead and decided I'd start off with what my routine always is when I get interested in a stock, which is I pull the pre-market levels. So I go ahead here and I pull a support, go into here and pull a high resistance, and then I like to pull some pivots in the middle where supports have flipped to resistance or vice versa, anywhere where the stock has really consistently acted against with multiple touches from multiple wicks, bodies, anything in there. So, and you can kind of see how that lines up. And then what my main goal after that is I go over and I look at the level 2 over here and I start looking for where the bids and the asks are congregating pre-market. Where can I get in on this trade and where do I expect it to happen? So now AMD had a lot of volume right off the bottom. It kind of sold off, but as it was selling off, it just sold off in place. And you could tell the bid was really rushing in. It was rushing in really high on the price, so I felt really confident that it was going to break up. So I ended up going long a little bit earlier than I initially planned to, just because of that momentum. My first entry actually took a stop out, but then once it broke back above $46 here, which was my one of my pre-market levels, I went long again, got some great partials on the way up, and then took a stop out at break even. Now, when it came back down and bounced off of 45.81 here, I went ahead and went long again. Now this long was taken completely off of the level 2 and this level I had here. So if you're looking at pre-market, you can see here that we sold off to pre-market, but when it got to this level, it was bought off. And if you looked at the level 2, you could see that. And if you actually notice from the chat here, I took this snip, you can actually see where I was saying 480 acted as a support pre-market, and there are still large bids there. I'm thinking AMD could possibly sell off for that level before bouncing and heading back up. It was exactly what I was looking for it to do. So since it bounced off of 46.80, I went ahead and took it long, and then I just had to wait for a little bit for it to move up and get back up, and I took partials at levels, close to levels as we moved up. Now, these all trades are a little bit riskier, right? I mean, we can all acknowledge that any trade that happens in the first 5 minutes is a higher volatility, higher risk trade. That's why I use levels and not averages, because I think they hold up better, and that's why I take smaller share sizes. At this point, by the time I'm here, I'm already up maybe, $250, almost $300 on the day, and I'm well in the position, so I was looking for one add-in, hoping for a nice solid add-in above VWAP once it made this high so I could get a little bit more out of it, and sure enough, it gave it to me in just the right way. Actually, my favorite trade of the day, although I'm really happy with all of them, my favorite trade was actually this add-in because I've been working on them. So as it pulled back and it respected VWAP, I waited for it to make a new high above this candle. So basically waited for it to engulf this candle, pop up, make a new high, and I added in. This time when I added in, my risk is only the loss of VWAP, and I've still got some money in the till as well to absorb some of that risk. So this time, rather than just going in a few hundred shares, 500 shares, getting these little I could go in pretty big on this one. So I actually took 1,500 shares, which is one of my longest positions I've ever taken, or largest position, sorry, I've ever taken on a single trade, and especially of a $50 stock. So I went ahead and went in a little bit hard here, went 1,500 shares, and then just got a beautiful pop on it, all the way up to 46.50, and I took the lion's share off at 46.50 there, which was a nice 40-cent move on about 1,000 shares. So I pulled in $400 just on from here to here, but of course I took intermittent partials all the way, and now I'm actually hanging on to about 30% of that position still. I'm waiting to see what AMD is going to do. If we ever lose VWAP, I'll get out of the rest of my position. and just call it a day because I'm, well over daily goal. But if this happens to AMD lately, if you can look here on the daily chart, has been having green days that have closed really high to their high of days. So as they move up, so with any luck, perhaps AMD can continue that trend today, and it'll end up being a decent runner. Hang on to it till about noon, halfway through the day, and then get rid of it. So I hope everyone's having a great day. I really hope I'm converting some of you guys into seeing how strong these levels are and how well they can be used for putting a trade together when paired with level 2 and volume indicators. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Again, I hope you all have a great holiday and keep it green.